Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series Dedication Show on MTV that's not here to play some patty cake. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies, Episode 9, and this is a Cory-filled episode, from his scheming to his temper, to him and Bettina getting that comeback win in the elimination. But before we can get to any of that, let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Priscilla and Jeremiah winning against Berna and Huey in the elimination and getting to steal whoever they want as partners. Jeremiah took Tori, Priscilla took Josh, meaning that there would be no rookie teams for the first time ever in this game. And coming back to the challenge house, that's where all the vets' gears are turning in their brain. They're really thinking about what they can do in their strategy and how they can push the target onto somebody else's back if they feel like it's on theirs. Now Cory is excited that there's no more rookie teams, that the vet truce is over and the game can finally begin. We're all here with you, Cory, about being happy about that, but in his jubilation, he seems to give too much information to Josh and Tori, where he was telling them that he knew exactly who Priscilla and Jeremiah were gonna take because they were talking to him before going into the elimination, and he was fist bumping them saying hey, good luck to everybody and let the games begin. This sends red flags to Josh, who takes this information to Amanda, Ashley, and Kyle and is talking in the room going look, Cory may be up to something. He seems to be running these rookies and he seems dangerous. He should be the house vote, and everybody agrees that they're nervous about Cory. The next morning, Ed is seen talking to a mirror, and then we move to the backyard where Cory and Nelson are having a chat and strategizing, and Cory is showing Nelson his notebook, and he has taken extensive notes on who has been seen with who is working with whom, and who they should target. And this is where I love to see Cory strategizing, because yes, there was a vet truce, and yes, a lot of the vets were on easy street, but that didn't stop Cory from taking a ton of notes and keeping everybody in mind of okay, I gotta keep my eye on this person, they're hanging a lot with this person. And I'm not gonna say that he didn't make mistakes in this episode. I loved Cory in this episode, and seeing him play, seeing that passion and that fire and wanting to make big moves, but not everything in his notebook was facts. He didn't make all the right moves, and he was a little messy, giving too much information to people that he couldn't fully trust. But I love to see him work in this episode, and he even talks to Nelson about he needs to talk to Devin, because Devin has a lot of pull in this game. He has a big alliance, and he needs to know where Devin's head is at. Is Cory having to worry because he's thinking that him and Bettina could be the house vote this episode, whereas Ashley is feeling like Cory's doing a lot to push the house vote onto Ashley and Ed. So Cory and Devin talk, and Devin reassures Cory that he should have nothing to worry about, and personally he wants to go after champs, as they are a real threat as we move closer and closer to the finals. Then we see Logan and Big T talk, and Logan wants to go after Cory and Nelson, as he feels that he can't trust Cory and Nelson, that he is working really closely with Josh and Devin, and that's where Cory's notebook is a little bit off, because he said, I don't know where Logan stands. He could be in the middle ground, when really he is fully into Josh's alliance. So Logan really wants to go after Cory and Nelson. And with that, we move on to this week's mission called Bombshell Battle, where we have a giant mud pit filled with soccer balls of all different colors. What each team has to do is send one person in at a time to grab one of their station's soccer balls. And once you get all 4 of your soccer balls, then you have to go in there and get a silver ball. If you collect all those balls in a round, then you will move on to the next round, and then the next round, until there's only 3 teams left, and then whoever wins out of those 3 teams will win into the agency. You gotta love a muddy mission. This had everything. It had strategizing, it had social game, it had political game, it had physicality, people were really wrestling each other. I'm gonna go through the highlights of each round, and the highlight of round 1 was Cory versus Josh, as there was 1 silver ball left, and you had 6 teams going after that 1 ball. And we saw Cory and Josh going after each other. Now, in the aftermath, Cory said that him and Josh had a conversation and they felt like they were on the chopping block. They could be possibly the house vote for this episode. So both were giving it their all. Josh felt like, oh, I was closer to my rope. Cory should have just let me win, but that's not Cory's thought process at all. He's thinking, I want to keep myself safe first and foremost, and then I want to keep all my numbers safe. And when he was in a very bad position, that's when he decided to throw the ball towards Jeremiah and hoping that Jeremiah would win the round, but it did not help, as Jeremiah lost the ball to Kyle, and then Kyle threw it up to Ed, who took it onto his station, and he was able to make it onto the next round. So the 5 teams heading into round 2 was Ed and Ashley, Emmanuel and Casey, Big T and Nelson, Devin and Amber, and Logan and Nani. I found this very interesting because everyone in the episode was harping on Cory helping out Jeremiah when at the end of this round 1, Kyle threw the ball to Ed, who is a rookie in the house, and this comes down to house politics and the hierarchy of the rookies within the house, and Ed seems to be much higher up than, say, Jeremiah. We move on to round 2, where the last 3 teams going after the silver ball was Casey, Amber, and Big T, and Amber had the ball going up to try to win this when Casey runs over to her, tries to pick her up and drop her, but she drops her on herself. So we have Amber sitting on Casey, and she then throws the ball to Big T and then tries to do this like spider hold, this like reverse hold on Casey, and even Big T sits on Casey's like arm as she is like trying to get some separation, and that's when Big T is able to actually make it into the 3rd and final round. So the 3 teams moving on to the 3rd round was Nani and Logan, Big T and Nelson, and Ed and Ashley. And we get to round 3, the final silver ball, where we have 3 men locked in position with Nelson, Ed, and Logan. And that's when Logan is making some deals with Nelson and Ed, saying like, hey, if you fight me and I win this regardless, then you could be on the chopping block. But if you don't fight me and I get this win, you're completely safe from me and the agency throwing you guys in. So at the end of the day, Nelson and Ed take Logan up on his deal, meaning Logan and Nani win into the agency, and in like Nani's like victory speech, she talks about how she felt like she has been doing nothing in this game, which is highly accurate. So we move back to the house where Josh is on the anti-Cory campaign. He wants to get Cory thrown in as the house vote, and then we see just Ashley panicking and being paranoid, being like, they're wanting to throw me into the elimination. They want me to be the house vote, which isn't wrong, but she just kind of like freaks out on Josh here because she is thinking that Cory's gonna be able to round up the numbers and get her sent in. Then we move on to the backyard party where Nani is talking to Priscilla, saying that she is not on the agency's radar and she has nothing to worry about. Then we see Amber and Ed talking, where Ed is saying, hey, if we get thrown in, I would rather not be thrown in, but if we do get thrown in and win, I'm gonna change out partners, I'm gonna steal Casey. And then we see Amber and Ashley bond over being women champs and the struggles that comes with that. And finally, we see Logan and Nani talking about strategy and who they want to see in the elimination. And Logan's like, I'm gonna lay it all out there. I want Cory and Bettina to be the house vote, and then as the agency, I want to vote in Amber and Jeremiah. And Nani's like, okay, yeah, that's perfect. The next morning, this is where we see the different factions and crews in the house start to split apart and strategize together about what they're gonna do about the house vote. We see Cory, Big T, Priscilla, and Nelson all in a room together talking, strategizing about trying to get the house vote to be on Ashley and Ed. And then we see CT, Devin, Tori, Kyle all in the backyard talking, and Devin is really trying to push voting in Ashley and Ed, saying that we can't really trust Ashley, but then CT's over there going like, look, I can trust Ashley perfectly. I can't trust Cory and Bettina because they want to make big moves. And guess what's considered the biggest swing in the game if they send somebody in? It's going to be me. It's going to be CT being thrown in, and he doesn't need his game to be blown up like that. So in the middle of their conversation, Ashley comes in to try to throw more shade on Cory, which really gets Devin doubtful on if he can trust Cory or not, and if their conversation was true, and if really Cory is running the rookie side of the game. We move into the nomination ceremony where Logan starts off saying, hey, Nelson, Ed, I'm gonna keep to my word. My word is my bond. I'm not going to send you in, so you have nothing to worry about. Then Cory takes the floor, saying that he's always played an upfront and honest game. You can always trust what he's going to say, and there's some people that maybe you can't trust and should be priority number 1 to be sent into the elimination. That's when Ashley takes this as the cue, saying like, look, Cory can play an honest game because he always plays the middle of the fence. He's gonna go swaying with the numbers, so he might be with you right now, but that's not to say he's gonna just throw you under the bus as we move further on to the game. And this is where we get back to the final reckoning, where Cory brings up that she stole all the money from Hunter, and how can you trust somebody who does that? And Ashley and Cory are exchanging blows back and forth. That's when Devin interrupts and says that the only thing I need to know is that if Priscilla got advice from Cory to split up a vet team so that there would be no more rookie teams. This is where Priscilla speaks up and says, look, this was my own decision. I knew we had to split up the rookie teams to where there was no more rookie teams. And Devin is instantly saying she's a liar. Of course, Cory had to say something. I feel like Devin already had it in his mind that Priscilla was going to lie. So I feel like there was really no point in asking the question because he already had his mind made up. And also, why isn't some of this heat on Tori and Ashley, who kind of like spelled it out for us in the last deliberation? Why did Cory have to say something to Priscilla when really it could have been Ashley and Tori who kind of just threw all their cards out on the table saying like, yeah, don't do this because this would be really hurtful and bad to the vet's truce. Then we have Josh piling up on Cory, then Amanda. Nelson speaks up for Cory, but he brings up this like $500 gift card that Ashley gave Amanda, even though Amanda sacrificed her game for Ashley to where she was able to win $1 million, but all she got was like a $500 gift card, which in the aftermath, Amanda says that that was false, that she did not give her a $500 gift card. That was just a rumor. She got her a whole bunch of baby stuff, but she didn't really give her anything. And honestly, it doesn't even matter. I know that Nelson is really trying to help out his friend. I think that this was a weak argument to bring up. I think it was just trying to throw like a Hail Mary, trying to get the blame and target onto Ashley's back. And when you boil it down, in Final Reckoning, it was Amanda's decision not to send in Ashley. Ashley then had to go out and had to play the rest of the game and win those finals to make that decision. So when you look at it, it was Amanda's decision, it was Ashley's money, and really at the end of the day, Ashley didn't have to give Amanda jack squat. That's just my personal opinion. The 20 minutes are up. The house vote is revealed to be Cory and Bettina, and we get to see who voted for whom in the aftermath after show, and we can see who really had Cory's back. We move to right after the deliberation. We see Devin, Big T, Kyle, and Nelson talking with each other, and Devin's like, I don't like Ashley. I can't trust her. And Kyle speaks up saying like, yeah, I definitely can't trust anything Ashley says. And that just sets Cory off because he's like, okay, you can't trust her, yet you voted me into the elimination. How does that work? And they have a little bit of a tiff before Kyle walks away. The last conversation we see before heading to the elimination grounds to meet up with TJ is Bettina and Cory talking about who would they pick if they win. Bettina says she would pick CT and that Cory should pick Casey. We move on to the elimination where we meet up with TJ. Cory and Bettina meet him down on the lair grounds. That's when we turned it over to the agency and Logan and Nany vote in Jeremiah and Amber to the elimination, and they will be playing against each other in the elimination called Hang in the Balance. Now the pairs are going to have to work together to transfer their puzzle pieces from one platform to the other. They're going to have to lock arms, try any strategy they can to walk across this balance beam that is like triangular. The first team to solve their puzzle will win, stay in the game, and be severely confused when TJ just tells them that they can just walk back into the game and not pick a new partner. This was a tough elimination. I mean, this took communication, this took a lot of teamwork. Both teams were at a clear disadvantage with the size and the weight because both men were huge. Like, they are built, they are strong, they are heavy. And then we look over to the women who are much smaller than their partners and they weigh significantly less. After this elimination was over, Cory alludes that this elimination could have been like 3 hours long. I'm sure it felt so long and their arms were so tired, they kept on falling off this beam. They had to then walk back over to their ladders, climb the ladder. Like, there was a lot to this. Now, Jeremiah and Amber were able to get into a rhythm with Amber like going all the way down to a really low squat and then walk across the balance beam like a crab. And they started gassing out the longer and longer this elimination took. That's when Cory and Bettina changed up their strategy to hold each other closer instead of going farther back. They started holding each other closer and they started getting into a rhythm. They were counting down every step that they were moving. Cory would move first, then it was Bettina. They were getting into a great rhythm and they started coming back and they actually surpassed Jeremiah and Amber towards the end, and that's when they were able to get to their puzzle. Just for comparison, Jeremiah and Amber couldn't get their final puzzle pieces transferred. They were on their final 3 for so long, and we see Cory and Bettina be able to pass them, get to their puzzle board, and finish their puzzle, winning. I couldn't believe this. When I saw this elimination, knowing that there was a puzzle at the end, I was like, Cory is in deep trouble. And then seeing them get so far behind, I thought that it was over for Cory and Bettina, but they were actually able to come back, win this elimination, show heart. Both teams showed a ton of heart, but Cory and Bettina deserved this win. It was amazing. Jeremiah and Amber leave the game, and Cory and Bettina are left in this game, and now they're sitting there with the thought process of, this is who I'm gonna pick. Cory was like looking back, looking at everybody going like, yeah, you sent me into the elimination, guess what? I'm coming back strong. I'm gonna get partners, I'm gonna shake it up. And then TJ just is like, nope, not gonna do it. Go back into the game. No partners are going to be stolen. But that's where this episode ends, leaving on this cliffhanger where TJ is just telling Cory and Bettina to rejoin the group, and we see everybody going back to the house where we have Tori and Devin not even in a partnership anymore, which signifies to me that this is going to be a solo game from here on out. But that's my theory. What do you think is going to happen? Let me know that in the comment section below. Do you think it's going to be a solo game? Do you think maybe that they're going to do a mission and that's going to determine the order of where everybody could pick? Maybe they could reset. We are about halfway through this game. What is your theory? Let me know that in the comment section below. What did you think about this episode? What did you think about Cory's strategy? What did you think about this elimination daily challenge? Everything. Let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. This was a spicy episode, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. But that is it for this video. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more Challenge 37 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.